Hello, everybody. Well, I've had a busy weekend, so I haven't been able to really talk about Love Island for the last few episodes. So I want to start with the new bombshells that came in. I am talking about 3 episodes behind now. I was pretty upset with the producers at first when we didn't just get 2 male bombshells, which is what I think the season actually needed. We did get 2 of them, but then we also got 1 woman bombshell as well. And we've had more. The guys have had more options than the girls, and I don't think that's been the best thing for the season overall. But I guess after 12 episodes, we finally do have some decent drama going on with the show. My biggest complaint is that I still feel like it's just been the Ace show going on for these first 12 episodes, and I'm pretty over it. I know there's people out there that will say, well, at least Ace is providing some kind of drama. But it's not exactly interesting drama to me that Ace just wants to be a flirt with different people. I don't think he and Iris are like some sort of connection. And I also don't believe Ace is just after this slow burn connection with Shelly. So I am over all the Ace drama in general. So yeah, just Iris being added to the cast didn't do a lot for me, and I guess until tonight's episode, which we'll get to in a second. I do like Jalen a lot. I think that Jalen and Olandria are the first time this season that I feel like 2 people actually have a real connection that goes beyond just physical or friendship. I feel like Jalen has been pretty romantic with Olandria so far, actually. And where Olandria and Taylor are concerned, I'm glad that Olandria clocked Taylor that he was trying harder once Jalen came onto the show. And that's just true. Taylor was acting like he was having a hard time having a physical connection with Olandria up until Jalen enters, and then suddenly Taylor wants to play the game. And so Olandria clocking that was very smart of her, and I'm glad that she did so. So yeah, I feel like Olandria finally actually has a real man in Jalen as compared to with Taylor, which is what I wanted from male bombshells entering the show. I've said for the past couple weeks now that I just feel like the male cast is so young. These Gen Z guys, I don't understand them for one, but also they don't have chemistry with people. That's the problem. So yeah, people like Ace will flirt it up, but is there actually connections going on? I don't think so. I don't think Ace and Shelly have a real connection either. They might have physical attraction, but it kind of stops there. So big ups to Jalen and Olandria, who did end up coupled up tonight with the fan vote, which we'll get to, I suppose. The other guy is Pepe. I hate his name. But Hannah seems to be really into him. So Hannah being distraught after tonight's episode was eye roll worthy for me. I think she was distraught because I think she knows that she's probably not going to be able to win this season, which was a possibility with Charlie, because it seemed like there was a certain side of the fan base that, despite Charlie and Hannah being boring, that they were quite likable. I've said all along that Charlie was likable, and I guess we just have to talk about tonight. So the fans voted. The fans finally did bring some mess into the series tonight, where I guess especially where Huda and Jeremiah are concerned. It could just be the editing, but I don't think it's just the editing. Huda is too much. Huda was talking about moving in with Jeremiah after just a few days into the house and calling her and Jeremiah mom and dad because she is the single mom in the house. And it's just been too much too soon where Huda and Jeremiah are concerned. So while it might have been harsh tonight during the vote because the fans voted for new couples where the bombshells were concerned. They put Jalen with Olandria, so that leaves Taylor single. And I love that. I think Taylor deserves that, and I hope Olandria can keep clocking that despite she and Taylor having friendship chemistry, it doesn't really go beyond that. And Taylor trying now with Olandria is just laughable. And he's only trying because nobody else likes him. So, yeah, I like that pairing of Olandria and Jalen, and I hope they stay together. They put Hannah with Pepe, and that's Hannah's fault. Hannah was always kissing up on Pepe, and so that left Charlie single. And then the fans got messy and they voted Iris with Jeremiah. So that the stage 5 clinger had to not have a good day today. I figured that the show was putting Iris in the game in the first place to do some drama for Huda and Jeremiah. And so, well, at first, when Iris entered the show, like I said at the beginning of the video, I was upset that they were putting a woman back in as a bombshell when we just needed 2 men to really shake up the cast. But now that the fans have voted to split up Jeremiah and Huda to put Iris with Jeremiah, it does cause quite the drama. And so during the vote, when you have Nick and Ace voting for Huda and kind of saying that they think Huda is, I guess, kind of fake in what she's doing, or that Jeremiah should be able to explore more, it definitely shakes it up. Because Huda and Nick, especially, were getting kind of close. So Nick looks shady to me. And, I've defended Nick so far this season because he's a Pisces. But he has some bad karma out there because he's gone from big old pimple to big old cold sore on his lip now. So Nick, he has some bad karma out there. I don't know. I think Nick and Sierra still are actually a decent couple, and I know that Nick had some moments, I think, with Iris as well. But overall, I don't know if, I just don't know overall where Nick is concerned. I think Nick is, I don't know. I've seen people try and compare Ace and Nick. Ace gets a lot of slack, and I think it's deserved. But people try and say that Nick is on par with Ace in the games he plays, and I don't think that's true, personally. Ace is the one that chose someone in Amaya just to play games. And Nick hasn't done that. Nick chose between Bella and Sierra, and he chose Sierra, and that might have pissed off some of the fan base, but that was the right choice for Nick, and I've said that all along. So there's no real comparison to Nick and Ace, because Ace did choose Amaya just to play games, to try and make Shelly jealous, to try and make Shelly chase him. And now Shelly finds herself in a predicament with Ace, where now Ace is exploring with Iris, and Shelly's feeling some kind of way. And I'm trying to give Shelly the benefit of the doubt, because I know that she doesn't feel it with Austin, and I don't blame her. Nobody in the house feels it with Austin. So I don't feel sorry for Austin. There's some people out there that want to feel sorry for Austin because, he's being cute with Shelly. But the fact is, he's only doing that because he doesn't have chemistry with anybody else on the show. So I can't feel sorry for Austin in that scenario. But I don't feel sorry for Shelly either. If she's going to continue to go along with young Ace's game playing, and if it becomes like egg on her face, then it is her own fault in that matter. In the end today, the non-new couples had to vote. And like I said, Nick and Ace voted for Huda. But it was Charlie who ended up getting voted out. And Amaya having to make that final vote was pretty tough because it seemed like they were getting closer as friends, at least. That's what the edit in today's episode made us think. Amaya's still my favorite girl because she's been pretty dramatic, but also just straight up. So I like Amaya. I hope she could actually find a connection in the house because it certainly isn't with Ace. Charlie going, I've said all along he was one of the only likable guys, so it's pretty bad for the male side of the cast. Because now the only person I like that's left as with the guys is Jalen at this point. I think a big portion of the fan base will also be sad to see Charlie gone because he was likable. He was one of the least problematic guys to me personally, at least on the show. And so Hannah and Pepe are probably going to get some blowback now because Hannah was already getting blowback from TikTok and those people with brain dead TikTok. I can't get into it. But I think they'll get some blowback there. I think Hannah was already getting blowback for kissing up on Pepe. So they're probably not going to be likable. So where the couples stand, and it's my biggest problem with the season, there's just not a lot of chemistry with these couples. It is literally, for me, now just Jalen and Olandria, who's a new couple. And I do think Nick and Sierra do have chemistry, but we'll see if that holds true. Nick today was a little sketchy, but for now, because he's a Pisces, I'm going to stand by him. Anyway, that's all I got to say today. I should hopefully be able to talk about this again tomorrow.